Hi, this is Jameelah and welcome to my kitchen. Today I am going to show you how to make flaxseed crackers. The ingredients that we're going to be using are all laid out here, and what I have is right here in this bowl I have 2.5 cups of ground brown flaxseed that I ground from a whole flaxseed I ground into the meal in my coffee grinder. And this light powder right here is sunflower seeds that I had ground into a powder or a meal in my coffee grinder, and it's 1 cup. We have three zucchinis chopped up. This is going to be for moisture and texture. Excuse me while I pick up my runaway piece of zucchini. And 1 large onion. Now this is a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. They're not soaking in water. These are the sun-dried tomatoes that were in the jar. And they have olive oil, but I'm just going to try to squeeze out as much oil as I can and use the sun-dried tomatoes. And the reason why I'm using these is because they were sitting in my refrigerator and I wanted to use them, and you know me, I don't like to waste, so I can put these in my crackers. 3 cloves of minced garlic. And then we have our spices, oregano, and Italian seasoning. I did forget to get the salt, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that and bring it over here, Himalayan salt. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and not put the meal, but we're going to be putting the zucchinis and the onion in the food processor first. These 2 ingredients are going to provide the moisture. Let me bring this closer for you. You see that? Are going to provide the moisture for the batter. Even though it's going to be crackers, when you first make the batter, you don't want it to be too dry. Because if it's too dry, when you lay it out on to the Teflon sheets, as it dries even more in the dehydrator, it's going to get all crumbly and not stick together as a cracker like it should. So okay, now I'm going to show you what consistency that I let the food processor process this to. See, it's kind of like I don't know, like a mush kind of, because like I said, this is going to provide moisture for your crackers. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to put in the garlic, and like I said, squeeze out some, what I'm doing right now is squeezing out the oil. I'm dropping stuff today, oh my goodness. Squeezing out the oil of my sun-dried tomatoes. So it'll have a little bit of oil, but it won't be that much. The main source of the fat is the seeds with the sunflower and the fat and the flax seeds. So this is just more for flavor. I'm adding that. Okay. So that's all of the sun-dried tomatoes, and I'm going to go ahead and rinse off my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn the processor back on and incorporate the garlic and the sun-dried tomatoes. Now as you're going along, you do want to make sure that you're occasionally scraping the sides of your food processor just to get all the ingredients incorporated evenly. I'm just going to give this a little stir inside here and check how the sun-dried tomatoes are chopped and if they're finely chopped into small pieces, as small as I want them to be. And they are. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you can do this in one of two ways. You can pour this mixture into a bowl and then slowly incorporate the meal, your flax and sunflower meal, or you can put it into the food processor a little at a time. Now, if you do it by putting it in the food processor a little at a time, you may run into overheating your food processor because the flax meal will tend to get thick and it'll make the blade hard to turn. So that's why I prefer to go ahead and incorporate it in a bowl. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get my bowl. Now, you may say, well, what is this sitting over here? This right here is whole soaked flax seeds. I have not decided if I wanted to use these or not. The first time I made flax crackers, I did not use the meal. I just used whole flax seeds soaked in water, and I really didn't like it. I like sort of like a wheat thin kind of texture to my crackers, and that's what the ground meal gives me. But I was thinking maybe I might incorporate these in with it to kind of add a little bit more of a texture, but I just hadn't decided if I want to do that yet. And if I don't, I can always use these for something else, so I don't waste anything in my kitchen, so these will not go to waste. So I'm going to go ahead and okay, so just as a reminder, this is the sun-dried tomato, garlic, onion, and zucchini mixture. We haven't added any seasonings or anything of that nature just yet. Now with flax crackers, you can add any kind of vegetable that you like. You can make flax crackers with, say, bell pepper and celery or parsley. It just depends on what flavor profile you're going for. And I like the kind of Italian, I guess I'm on an Italian flavor profile kick right now. So that's the flavor profile I'm going for. So I went ahead and got most of that mixture out of my container here. And now I am going to go ahead and add the meal, probably about half right now. See how it's starting to thicken up? And that's what I mean when I was saying before that you may overheat the motor of your food processor if you put it in the food processor and have it try to grind all of this, because it can get really thick. Make sure you scrape that meal off the sides. And I think I will use about half of the flax seeds. Give that a stir in here. Okay, and I'm gonna put in my seasonings now. A little bit of salt. Give that a good stir. That way. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and taste this just to make sure that it's seasoned the way I want. A little more common seasoning. And some more salt. Now, judging at the amount of batter that I have in this bowl, I think I might get maybe about 2 trays or 3 trays of crackers. Just depends on how thin you spread out the batter. Now, I don't spread out my batter for my crackers as thickly as I do with the bread, so this will stretch a little bit further. All right, so I think I have that pretty much mixed. I'm going to go ahead and do another taste. Okay, just a teeny tiny bit more salt. Because usually when people eat crackers, you're looking for that salty, crunchy. And that's what I'm going for here. And again, you're not going to be eating the whole, batter or the whole batch, of crackers at one time. So you're not going to be getting a whole ton of salt at one time. Okay, now one more taste. Perfect. All right, going to be using my Tef Flex sheets again for my Excalibur dehydrator. And so just like I did with the bread batter, I'm going to go ahead and plop some on to the sheet here. And then we're just going to smooth it out. Now with the crackers, I'm not that particular about getting straight edges or anything like that. But I do want to spread it out pretty evenly. And I am going to be spreading it out a little bit thinner than I did before. Now with one place where you're spreading it, you see that you made a hole or where you can see down to the Flax sheet. Just grab more batter, kind of go over that and smooth it out. No big deal. Okay, just want to take some of this batter from over here. And then I'm just working it to the edges. Now, of course, the thinner you spread it, the crispier your crackers are going to be. The thicker it is, the chewier, so to speak, your crackers are going to be. So it just depends on what you like and how you want these to be, how you want them to feel in your mouth when you're eating them, and go forward accordingly. I just kind of want to get this a little bit larger and just thin this out just a little bit. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of trying to smooth it out, smooth the little lumps out. And again, that's just how I prefer to proceed. If it doesn't bother you, you don't have to be as particular as I am. And you'll probably get out of the kitchen faster than I do too. But I have been told that I'm a perfectionist, and people that have told me that may be right. I just know how I want things to come out. I have this idea in my head, how I want things to turn out, and I take steps to make that happen. Okay, so this sheet is done, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing until I use up the rest of my batter, and I'm going to go ahead and stick the trays in the dehydrator and let them dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, I'm back, and I finished spreading the cracker batter on my Flax sheets, and I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets or 4 trays out of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on the dehydrator on, again, 115 degrees, and let these dry until I can take the crackers and off the Flax sheet, and I'll show you that process. And at that time, when I flip them over, I'll score the crackers and all of that. So see you back in a bit. I'm back, and it's been 4 hours since I put the crackers in to dry. So now what I need to do is to flip them over so that the side that's on the Flax sheet will be facing up and gets a chance to dry, and then they can dry all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead and flip those over right now, and also score them so that when they are dry, I can easily break them up into the individual crackers. Okay, and here is what they look like right now. So I'm going to get a plain empty tray, just like I did with the bread. I'm going to put that on top, flip it over, and peel off the sheet. And you see how cleanly that peeled off. So I have my trusty little pizza cutter here, and I'm going to score these. I'm just going to do diagonal lines so that, like I said, when they dry, then they can be broken up into the individual crackers or chips, or however, what do you want to call them. Okay, now I'm going to do this with the rest of the crackers, and then I'm going to let them dry completely, and when they're nice and crispy, then I'll take them apart, and I'll show you that when I do that. Hello everyone, and I'm back. I let my dehydrator run overnight so that my crackers could get the crispness that I like. So let me go ahead and show you what they look like. Okay, so here is the finished product here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just store them in a regular baggie. And in with the baggie, what I'm going to do is place one of these packets. Now, I don't buy these. I save these out of the different superfoods and supplements that my family buys, because what they do is they keep the moisture out of whatever this packet is with. So I want to keep the moisture out of my crackers for as long as possible. So that's why I'm going to put this in the baggie with the crackers. So now, because I scored these, see, they're just going to break apart really easily. And I'll just put them in the bag. You could see the crispness. Hear that? And just to give these a little taste. I don't know if you can hear the crunch. They have good flavor. And then we're going to use these for dips and just to snack on when you want something crunchy. I'm going to go ahead and unload the other sheets off camera, but just wanted to give you a look at the finished product here. So if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and share with your friends and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys for watching.